The magnetic appeal of The Andy Griffith Show is primarily attributed to its ensemble cast, which brought to life a host of captivating characters. Among these was Ellie Walker, the town's pharmacist, a role Elinor Donahue imbued with grace and charm. She was sketched in as a potential romantic flame for lead Sheriff Andy Taylor, setting the stage for an intriguing narrative arc. But despite the promising path charted for her character, Donahue's journey on the show was startlingly brief, confined to a single season. Join us as we reveal the mystery behind her sudden departure from the show. Elinor Donahue and The Andy Griffith Show. Elinor Donahue, already a household name for her role as Betty Anderson in the iconic 1950s show Father Knows Best, joined the cast of Andy Griffith in its inaugural season. Her addition was met with great enthusiasm, both from the production team and audiences. Donahue was cast as Ellie Walker, the town pharmacist with a heart of gold. Her character was not just a professional in a small town, but also a potential love interest for Sheriff Andy Taylor. The Andy Griffith Show was set in the idyllic town of Mayberry, a place where everyone knew everyone else, and the pace of life was slow and peaceful. The setting provided a perfect backdrop for the character of Ellie Walker. As the town pharmacist, Ellie was a central figure in the community, someone who interacted with almost everyone in town. Her character was written as smart, compassionate, and independent. The chemistry between Donahue and Griffith was palpable from the start. Their characters, Ellie and Andy, shared a sweet, slow-burning romance that was a joy to watch. Viewers were drawn to their budding relationship, and Ellie quickly became a beloved character. The writers had big plans for Ellie and Andy, and it seemed like Donahue was poised to become a long-term fixture on the show. Donahue also brought a charm and elegance to Andy Griffith. Her previous experience on Father Knows Best had made her a seasoned actress, and she brought this experience to her new role. She was professional, dedicated, and a joy to work with, according to her co-stars and the show's crew. She was part of several memorable episodes, involved in storylines that touched on various social issues, and her character often served as the voice of reason in the face of the comedic antics of the other characters. Her performances were nuanced and heartfelt, and they added a layer of depth to the show. The sudden departure and behind the scenes. As the first season of The Andy Griffith Show progressed, viewers were captivated by the budding romance between Andy Taylor and Ellie Walker. However, behind the scenes, a series of unforeseen circumstances were unfolding. During the first season, Donahue fell ill with pneumonia, a serious enough condition that required her to take off time from filming. This unexpected illness disrupted the show's production schedule, forcing the writers to significantly adjust the storyline. The character of Ellie Walker, who had been a central figure in the plot, had to be written out of several episodes to accommodate for Donahue's absence. The impact of her illness on the show was significant. The writers scrambled to fill the gap left by her character, and the other actors had to adapt to her sudden absence. This situation created a sense of uncertainty and instability behind the scenes. Despite these challenges, Donahue made a full recovery and returned to set. But her illness had taken a toll, both physically and emotionally. She found it difficult to reintegrate into the cast and struggled to recapture the chemistry she had previously shared with her co-stars. She was also dealing with professional challenges. She felt out of place on the set and struggled to connect with her character. There were instances when some of her lines were given to other actors, which added to her feelings of alienation. These experiences, coupled with the stress of her illness, led her to make a difficult decision. She felt she could no longer continue under these circumstances, so Donahue requested to be released from her contract with The Andy Griffith Show. Despite a 3-year contract, she left the show after about a dozen episodes. Her departure was met without resistance from the show's producers, marking the end of her time as Ellie Walker. The personal struggles and the aftermath. Elinor Donahue's departure from the show was not just a professional decision. Behind the scenes, she was grappling with personal struggles largely unknown to the public at the time. The end of her previous show, Father Knows Best, had been abrupt and without closure, a situation that had deeply affected her. She described the experience as being like, quote, being kicked out of a bird's nest. Donahue was also dealing with significant changes in her personal life. She had married young, given birth to a child, and then divorced. At age 23 in 1960, she was navigating a series of life changes that were challenging to handle. She was playing characters younger than her age and was accustomed to playing someone's child. The transition to a more mature role in a new show was a significant shift. The stress from her personal and professional life began to manifest physically. She started to struggle with weight, a problem she later identified as the onset of anorexia. She described having a weight difficulty and noted that the thinner she got, the thinner she wanted to be. After leaving the show, she continued to work in television. She made guest appearances on a variety of shows, including The Odd Couple, Mulligan Stew, and The Flying Nun. She also returned to the stage, performing in productions like Butterflies Are Free and Never Too Late. In the 70s, Donahue landed a recurring role on The Odd Couple, playing Miriam Welby for 4 years. Despite her struggles and early departure from The Andy Griffith Show, her career in television and theater continued to thrive. She demonstrated resilience and determination, continuing to deliver memorable performances in a variety of roles. Let's talk about some fun facts about The Andy Griffith Show. Don Knotts' unexpected journey. Don, who played the unforgettable Barney Fife, was initially contracted for just a single episode. His character, the bumbling yet endearing deputy, was not originally intended to be a series regular, but the dynamic between Knotts and Griffith was so compelling that executive producer Sheldon Leonard couldn't resist extending his contract. The illusion of the opening scene. The show's opening credits featuring a father-son fishing trip are etched in the minds of viewers. But the scene where Ronnie Howard throws a rock into the lake was not as it seemed. Despite multiple attempts, young Howard couldn't throw the rock far enough to reach the lake. So a prop man was enlisted to throw a rock simultaneously off camera, creating the illusion of Howard's throw making the splash. The whistled theme song. The show's theme song, known as The Fishin' Hole, is one of the most recognizable in television history. Composed by Earl Hagen and Herbert Spencer, it's known for its cheerful whistling. But few people know the song actually has lyrics. Although never used in the show, the lyrics were recorded by Andy Griffith himself, adding an extra layer of trivia to the beloved theme song. Andy Griffith the Prankster. Andy Griffith may have played the level-headed and sensible Sheriff Andy Taylor on screen, but off-screen he was known for practical jokes. One of his favorite pranks was to startle Don Knotts out of his naps by dropping a metal film canister onto the floor. Griffith's playful nature extended to other cast members too, with George Goober Lindsay once waking from a nap to find his dressing room decorated with duck guts, courtesy of Griffith. A record-breaking finale. The Andy Griffith Show ended on a high note. It was the #1 rated show on television at the time of its finale. It's a rare achievement, with only 2 other shows, I Love Lucy and Seinfeld, managing to claim the top spot at the end of their runs. Now it's time to hear from you. What was your favorite episode of The Andy Griffith Show involving Elinor? Let us know in the comments section below.